Brian, just the question. I know you talked last time about keeping the same team that's informed. How then do you make that decision to change a player in regards? Is it the player's performance, the other team's performance, or the team's performance? Does that make sense? It's a little
You mean when I'm
convoluted.
deciding on what lineup I want to use?
After you've made that lineup, you're going back, you're looking at
Yeah.
the tape, okay, and you say number six. How did
Okay,
he
might
play?
need to change or something.
Yeah, and
Well, it's a group discussion with the coaches staff. We review the film pretty heavily. Uh, we'll look at the next opponent. But the majority of the decision making now through the end of the season is going to be, just the trust that I have in the guys, the comfort and the way we play. Some of those things will really kind of narrow my focus. I think everybody has shown throughout the year, all the players have shown that they can participate and they can play the way we want. I just have to make some hard decisions as to who I think is, going to be the guys that play down the stretch.
And then, how much of the messaging now with this team is kind of where your feet are at, not what you've done there, like whether it's
All of
winning
it.
company, what I
Everything
mean,
is.
who you're playing.
Everything. The Galaxy's a dangerous team because they're going to have a bunch of young guys. They have nothing to lose. If we have even one sniff of being complacent or, not playing up to our level, well, then that's shame on us.
Brian, in terms of health, I mean, looking at Jordan, he seems like he's taking contact, he's full on practice. How's he looking health
He looks
wise?
good. Looks real good.
Might he be available for selection?
Yeah, he's going to be available for selection.
Tuesday. Okay.
And just in terms of everyone else, I mean, we saw Ryan is obviously farther
Ryan Kent
out.
looks good, but don't be deceived. It was a tendon injury, so he can jog, but it's the full-out sprinting that's going to take him a little bit more. He's still a ways off, but he's looked good. JP, we rested Nuhu a little bit in training to get ready for the 3-game week, and Georgie, long flights, but pretty much everybody's in full training except for Kent. Well, and or Ariel.
Thank you.
Coach, a couple of questions about Georgie for
Yeah.
Canal Plus Africa. Do you remember when he came to Seattle for the first time? And what would you say of his journey here so far?
Well, his journey's a great story. Georgie is a great young man. He's got plenty of potential. I don't remember the exact day, but I do remember him coming to Defiance. And when you looked at him back then, he was raw. He was just strong, explosive, but a little erratic sometimes. His decision making, and then he has the episode with his eyesight, and he has to overcome some big challenges, which some people might have written him off. But his faith, his ability to overcome, his desire to be a professional, led him to where you see him now, where he's a very dangerous attacker. I love having him available. He's made some starts for us, but it's a tremendous story, and he's a very nice young man.
What do you remember of the summer that he had this issue with the eye, and how did the club help him overcome
I don't
it?
know all the details what our medical staff did, but I know our club very well. We always throw every resource we can when players come with challenges like this. So I know the club and the doctors helped him as much as they could, and I think it was a good spot for Georgie to be in, because some clubs might have thrown him off or forgotten about him, but we don't do that.
And are you stunned by the fact that he overcame that and that he keeps improving even
Yeah.
with this?
Well, he's made steps, because even this year a little bit he was a little erratic, but you see now when he comes into games, he understands his role, he understands what he can do. Some of his decision making of, when he's 1 against 1, he knows he has his freedom to dribble, but if one other defender or another, he understands that he has to find the pass then and wait for the ball to come to him again. So he's made some of those decisions, and that's a step in the right direction.
Right, you also obviously have players that have been with the club for a while, but when you're kind of going through this last stretch when you need to fold injured players back into the mix, is there any conversation with Steph and Christian as far as leadership in the locker room to kind of make sure that the players are unified?
I haven't done that, Jada. It's a fair question. The players kind of do it on their own. I think the players kind of lift each other up. I think that's one of the strengths of this particular group. They certainly have a big part in it because they are the leaders of the team. But Albert does his part, and Paul's always encouraging, and Pedro, even though he had some tough spells, he's always encouraging guys, and it's just a good group. They always lift each other up. So I don't really have to dabble in that. I understand that when I make a hard decision, sometimes players, go down a little bit, but their teammates are there to help them get back up again.
How do you harness maybe like excitement or a renewed enthusiasm when guys are coming back from the national team, whether it's like age group guys or full national team guys? How do you make the most of that?
There was that when you get your first call up and you're all excited, and look, Christian's in a great mood. His smile is from ear to ear. That's always been out there. Other guys like New, who comes back and he just wants to rest a little bit because he's done it before, and he knows what his national team's all about. They didn't have a good last result, so he was a little grumpy this morning when I talked to him a little bit. But we talked through the game and how they got the goal scored against him. So it's different with each player. But as a whole, again, when the guys come back, they're always happy to see their teammates again. Happy to see Christian, and they were pleased that Christian had a good performance and was able to play, so that kind of energized the group as well.
Coach, going back to the Leagues Cup game and the national team, it seems like Jackson hasn't had a look at with the U.S. men's national team. What do you think?
Well, he did in the January camp, and then he got injured. So, I mean, look, Jackson's a talented player. I think he can reach that level, but again, that's out of my control.
Has there been anything about, Jesus Ferreira's tenure here that has surprised you, just either on and off the field, coming from, the spectrum that he was at, and, that some of the criticism he took early on, and then being such an important player for your team? Has there been anything in particular that surprised you over it?
Nothing that surprised me. I mean, we knew Jesus was a great player before he got here, but I think Jesus enjoys being here because the club has big aspiration. I'm not saying that Dallas doesn't, but he's now understanding what the culture of this club is, and the Leagues Cup was, a great experience for him, to beat Miami and Messi and Busquets and all those guys, and he was a big part of that. He felt like he was really a big part of that, our team's success.
So Jesus is still very young, but he seems like he's a coach on the field. He's always kind of going to the right position, directing people. Do you think
tactically
that he's
very
going to be
good.
a coach in the future?
That's 10 years down the road. He's got a long career ahead of him. He's got many, 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 many more goals in him and assists. We'll talk about that when he's a little older.
Thanks, everybody.